Hello, Bard Rock fans. This is Khadeja, the voice of Rook. I'm here to tell you some unfortunate news about episode 54. The short version is that due to technical difficulties, there is no episode 54, but I'd like to give a little more detail about that. Let me start by first explaining a little tiny bit about how we record our podcast. I promise this won't take long for those of you who already know about how this stuff works, but for the benefit of those who don't. Each of us players and the GM, we record our voices separately via our personal microphones. We meet every session on Discord, and at the end of the game after we've played, we upload our separate individual files to a central place. We also have a program that records the group call in Discord, so just in case one of us, our audio files busted, we have the Discord group call as backup, right? Well, sometimes our backup plans aren't enough, and that's what happened with episode 54. One of us, our individual audio file was messed up, so we couldn't use it. And the group call itself, that recording got lost. And no matter what we did, there was nothing we could do. We could not piece together that game, and we couldn't piece together the podcast episode. So we had to make a decision. We couldn't re-record because we found out about this too late, and we would have a huge disruption to our release schedule. We don't want to leave our fans without content for so long. So we had to do this. We had to scrap the episode. So first things first right now, we are so sorry, and we want to let you know we are taking measures to make sure that this just doesn't happen again. Believe us, we don't want this to ever happen again. There's a couple of little pieces of good news. First of all, we learned a lot and we're making changes to our processes, which will only make things better for us. Next thing is that, while episode 54 was full of shenanigans that we wish you could have heard, we can summarize what happened pretty easily for you. And there were no major, emotional or huge plot points that you missed. On top of that, most importantly, episode 55 is all set to come out on schedule. And at the beginning of that episode, as we always do, we always very briefly talk about what happened in the previous episode, so you won't be totally lost. Having said all that, I do have some highlights of our lost episode that I can read out for you right now, and I am going to. In episode 54, Brock revealed to the party that he and Roll reconciled through the use of the ceremony spell. Brock asked Malil to help him free the spirits trapped in the soul coins he won during the tournament arc. In exchange for this noble deed, Malil gave Brock a boon, an additional arcane secret that he can learn later. The party then set out into the Feywild from the Night Court. They now have several thousand expensive jewel-laden crowns, thanks to Brock's hat of many hats. And also thanks to the King of the Night Court, As our heroes journeyed into the Feywild, they observed signs that the greenery of the Spring Court is fading. And also, some greenery is killer because we got attacked by killer grass, which turned out to be a plant monster. And I'm sure you're all devastated you couldn't see us being attacked by grass. I mean, woof, such action, such power. And we defeated it. We did. And once we did, we were able to free a gnome who warned us about the spiders encroaching from the Winter Court. We helped the gnome get safely back to the Night Court before we continued on our way. And that's where things ended. before episode 55 will start. Find out what happens next. Thank you so much for supporting the show and listening.